Hello, my lovelies. Yes, it's me, Cheryl-AnnWebster, and today we have questions from the crowd. Well, the question I'm often asked is, why did I use clay to create the 120 life-size sculptures of real women aged 19 to 91 for my Beautiful Women project? Well, I think that's a pretty good question. And there's a few reasons, and I'll be as quick as I can to tell you. First up, you have to take a plaster mold of the woman's body to be able to make a clay sculpture. And when I say a plaster mold, it's like this. So if you've ever broken an arm or a leg or anything like that and they wrapped you up, they used to wrap you up in this stuff, plaster of Paris. So I put it on the body, take it off, it takes a little bit of trick, but don't worry, there'll be a tutorial later. But at the end of it, I get this, you see, a negative of the body. So yes, there's detail on the outside, but there's way more detail on the inside. If you think about it, it's like a big pastry dish. Well, does that make sense to you? Because I'm putting clay in there, like pastry, pushing it into all the details, and when I take it out, what I actually end up with is a positive replica of that woman's body. So all the detail, any scars, nipples, goosebumps if she's cold, any of that comes out in the clay. See, it was what was on the inside of the plaster. In addition to that, plaster doesn't tend to last very long. See, it's very thin like an eggshell. And although I do wonderful workshops, and yes, you can contact me to ask more about those, where we decorate the plaster inside and out to represent who you are, that's a whole separate thing. I'll help you keep it stronger than this, but at the end of the day, it wouldn't have worked for exhibiting around. It even survived being dropped on the floor there. But it wouldn't have worked for being exhibited around to all the communities that we went to, or for the handling of 70,000 people. Not that they all handled them. Anyhow, whereas the clay, yes, she's extremely high-fired. So when I get her out of the mold and tidy her up and add the decoration to show who she is as a person, a little bit about her journey, you can see how it's made. They each weigh around 5 to 22 kilograms each. Yes, and there's 120. So you'll see the edges are reinforced, under the breasts are reinforced. And if you know anything about clay, any kind of handles where we added the wire have to be the same bag of clay as the sculpture and built early on. Then there's aircraft cable. Whew, to hold her up on the wall just as you would a portrait, so you have no other change in message by putting her on a pedestal or anything like that. So she's clay, very high fired, and the other one was plaster, not gone in a kiln at all. Now, the other reason that I chose clay, apart from the fact it's very, very strong and could be toured and doesn't come to any harm if it's taken care of correctly. In fact, if they ended up in a fire or in the ocean or even buried, they would still come out okay. You see? Neat, huh? Now there's also more of a spiritual reason. So my journey there with why clay is because it's the 4 elements of the earth. Yes, it is. So if you think about it, clay is the earth. It's mud. So we gather up that earth. Well, mine was done for me in a factory, but nevertheless, you've got the earth, and while it's in that clay state, it's very malleable. You can shape it in any which way you like. And it continues to be malleable until such time as the air comes in and sucks out all the moisture. At that point, it's no longer malleable in that state. I liked that. It's sort of like the journey of life, malleable until something comes in and blows us off course. We're no longer malleable. Now at that state, you can still add water, break it all down and reconstitute it, and it's back to being malleable again. But then you take it one step further. So it's the earth, the air has sucked out the moisture, the water can be applied and in there to keep it malleable, and then it goes into the fire. And at that point, it gets to a certain point and it's forever changed. It doesn't matter how much water I add on this now, it's never going to be malleable again. She is cast in stone. As I say, she will survive a fire, she will survive the ocean, she will survive the earth, because as a goddess, just like we are, she is strong and nobody can change her. So for me, it was so reminiscent of our life journey. We go through these various stages, and at some point we rise from the ashes so much stronger than when we were first, malleable and being shaped by whoever has us in their hands. So on that note, be sure to be the artist and not the art. Create your own life, and that's my first question from the crowd. Yes, you've guessed it. This is Cheryl-AnnWebster, artist, speaker, and creator of the Beautiful Women Project. And because of my accent and because of your feedback, I've got the website in words. Cheryl-AnnWebster.com. That's it for me today, lovelies. Take good care, stay creative, and please celebrate who you are. You're wonderful. Bye-bye.